We recently got a new sectional couch, and now we're in need of a coffee table to go with it. I'm starting here by working on the top panel, and this isn't a new tip by any means, but one worth sharing for anyone that may not know. To get the seams nice and tight in between each board for the panel glue up, you can fold each set of two boards like a book, and put the back of one board along the joiner fence, and then the front of the next board along the fence, and what this does is cancel out any discrepancy if your joiner fence isn't perfectly square. Now my joiner is pretty dialed in square, but I need to joint these edges anyway, so I still do this to make sure the seams are nice and tight. I'm starting with the top panel glue up because as I got started on this project, I really wasn't even sure on the final design yet. But I knew what the overall size was going to be, therefore I could at least get this top panel done. And as you can tell, we're going with a square table here. My kids are getting to the age where they love playing board games, and we've definitely been needing a table like this. From there I moved on to breaking down all the plywood. We knew we definitely wanted drawers in the table for storage, and this will basically make up the interior structure of the table. I'm using a mix of 3/4 and 1/2 inch plywood here for this, for one to save a little money with the 1/2 inch, and also just to cut down on weight a little bit so this thing isn't just absurdly heavy. With all the pieces cut to size, I could drill for pocket screws and start getting it assembled. The way I'm building this, you won't see these pocket screws in the end at all. When it comes to setting interior divider panels, scrap wood spacers are always your friend to help make sure all the spacing is even and everything is square. On one side of the table there's just one big drawer, so after adding this top stretcher, this side was done. The other side with two drawers just needed another divider with this notch cut out for that stretcher piece. Next up, I could go ahead and get the two face frames cut and assembled for each side. And since I don't think I've mentioned it yet, I'm using white oak here for all the outer parts of this build that you'll see. But of course, if you want to follow the plans and build this for yourself, you can use any wood species you'd like to change the look. To attach the face frames, I added glue, and as you can see, I thought ahead and drilled pocket holes in all the plywood panels to use here as well. Moving on to the three drawers. With all the pieces cut to size, I just needed to make a groove in each piece for the bottom panel to slide in. Since I only have three drawers here, I just did this by making multiple passes on the table saw until my bottom panel fit the groove. Before assembling the boxes, I also applied edge banding to all the top edges. And since I'm using pre-finished plywood, this is pre-finished fast edge banding that I'm applying to match. These 3 drawers are going to give us so much storage space that we didn't have before, and that is always a good thing. With the boxes done, I could then work on the 3 drawer fronts. For these, I picked up a new router bit set, just because I wanted to do something different that I haven't used before. This is a Freud adjustable bit set in the bevel profile. I ran all my pieces through to create the groove and profile, then I swapped bits to create the tongues that go on each end of the rails, which are the horizontal pieces. A coping sled like this isn't totally necessary here. You could just use another sacrificial block behind your piece to add stability and prevent tear out, but this is a pretty affordable coping sled that gets the job done a bit easier. It's nice that these drawer fronts are small enough that I could just use one single board for the center pieces. Didn't have to worry about gluing up panels or using plywood. So all I had to do was create a rabbet on all 4 sides that would fit inside that groove on the frame pieces. To do this, all I did was lower that tongue router bit that I was already using to the correct height to make the rabbets. Before gluing the fronts up, I got all the center panels final sanded, because it's much easier to do it now without the frame around it. Also, I want to highlight that new Dustopper turbo bagger setup you see there behind me. This thing has been phenomenal. I did a couple videos on it, so be sure to check those out if you haven't yet. And Dustopper also gave me a link and discount code for you guys that I'll put down below in the video description if you want to check that out more. To assemble the drawer fronts, it's just a matter of adding glue to the tongues and getting them clamped up to dry. On these solid wood center panels, I do like to add just a tiny bit of glue in the center, and I'll flip it over to make sure it's actually centered in the frame, and add a couple 23 gauge pins to hold it there. Now it was time for us to actually make a final decision on what we wanted the sides of this thing to look like. After showing the boss lady some options with scrap wood, we decided on just some simple vertical slats. But just to show you as well, you could do horizontal slats, make another frame and panel that matches the drawer fronts, or anything at all that you wanted. Now the plans will account for the vertical slats like I've done, but as you can see, it's pretty easy to customize here if you wanted to change it. Before installing the slats, I did run this small chamfer bit along each edge to create a bevel and accentuate the groove between each board. To install, I added a little glue, put each board in place, and then clamped a scrap strip of wood across the whole thing to hold them while I drove screws from the inside. It's such a dumb thing to say because obviously, or else I wouldn't have done it, but I personally really like how this look turned out. To finish up the top panel, I got that out of clamps and all sanded, then ran that same chamfer bit all around the bottom edge. To attach the top panel after finish, I drilled some elongated holes all across these stretcher pieces. This will allow the wood panel to expand and contract with the seasons here. In the center of the table where I don't have these pieces to screw through, I also used my biscuit joiner to create a couple slots to use tabletop fasteners as well. Up next, I went ahead and got all the drawer slides installed, which my header body was blocking in every shot I took, so just trust that I got them all screwed on in the middle of the openings. The way I built this, 5 of the 6 drawer slides could just be screwed directly to the plywood side panels. There's just this one slide I needed to glue and nail a filler strip for to bring it out flush with the face frame before installing the slide. After getting the holes for my hardware drilled, I was ready to apply finish. I'm using Rubio Monaco in the color Smoke. This is the first project I've used this color on, and again, obvious to say, but man, I really like it. The video really doesn't do it justice. After the Rubio had some time to dry, I could get this buttoned up by attaching the drawer fronts and getting the top screwed on. When it comes to inset fronts like this, it's hard to beat using playing cards as spacers to get an even reveal all around. And since I haven't attached the top panel yet, it was easy to just reach in and get them screwed onto the drawer boxes. Links to the full build plans and all the products I used throughout the video will be down below in the video description. Be sure to drop some comments as well. I really appreciate the view and any support you give.